2011 Polaris Ranger HD 800 has electronic power steering, fuel injected. This is for the most part all original. I've added quite a few things that I've modified it with. Here's one of the add-ons. It's this genuine Polaris center console. I put that in and I modified it to hold my Boss plow control. This Boss plow control plugs in down here in the bottom, right there. Makes it easy for getting in, getting out if you need to, but it also makes it very comfortable for operating the plow. It has a Polaris roof, plastic roof, poly roof, whatever that is. I added a rear view mirror. I added some side view mirrors on both the driver and passenger side. And I have the packaging for those, along with I think it was a 4,000-pound Viper winch that I added to the front. There you can see the Boss, original Boss control or plow mount on there. The controls for the cabling for the Boss plow plug in over here. The original tires, original wheels. It's very clean. You'll see throughout that. Now I did clean this thing up, but it's never been abused. You can tell that everything is original. Nothing's been modified. I've never even had to work on this thing other than do an oil change. I did today. Oil and filter, and I have a new air filter. This is a tonneau cover that I added. I'll put a link to the video that I did to build on that. But I did this to make it hinged and accessible, and it's sealed to keep it watertight. If it's snowing, you want to add salt bags or something like that back here. They don't get wet and get nasty when you're out plowing. There's a box for the Viper winch, 4,000 pounds, a set of Bad Dog mirrors that I put on it, and there's a brand new drive belt that's never been used. I bought it to have it for extra, but I've never needed it. Like I said, I've only put 43 hours on this thing in the last 3 or 4 years, so it gets a lot of garage time. It stays clean. I've driven it through cornfields. I've driven it through hay fields and bean fields when I do my dog training, but for the most part, that's it. I don't go out hill climbing and ditch digging and playing like that. I use it around the yard a few times, but for the most part, that's what it is. I've added the seat cover. It has the Lexan rear window. It has the hard coat front windshield glass, or not glass, but it's poly. But it's the hard coat on it. I added a 12-inch LED on the front, and you can see the switching for that I added. Here's the LED light, and then this one is for a rear cargo light, which is right up here. And then you have a rear backup light that sits right there. Where's it at? Right there. And that comes on when you go into reverse. I wired that into the wire harness and picked up the reverse wire, so that it's great for backing up in the wintertime, especially if it's snowing and dark outside. You plow at night. It's the safest time to plow, but you got to be able to see, and these lights make it easy to do. You can see how clean this thing is. You can also tell that if you look down here on these A-arm bushings and stuff, none of this stuff is in bad shape. You can tell that it's the original hardware, but you can also tell that it's not been abused. There's no rust. I've never driven this in deep water or anything like that. So it's really good shape. You've got an accessory plug here for your plow control or your winch control if you want to stand outside the machine and run your winch. I've done that to pull my zero-turn mower out of the ditch where it got stuck in the mud one time, but other than that, it doesn't get used a whole lot. And this is all going up for sale. It's going to be with this Boss snow plow. It's a Boss V Plow. And there you can see the information on it. It's been the best plow I've ever used. I've used a lot of different plows on trucks and UTVs and ATVs, this is by far the best. I've got a snowplow video. I'll put in the link in the description below. Okay, that's our RPMs, which is 0 because it's not running. That is the temperature, because I just started it to back it out of the shop, so it didn't really warm up. That's the total time, 163 hours. That's the amount of time since the last oil change, which I'm getting ready to do right now. 33 hours ago was the last time I did it. That was all with Polaris products. And it's got a total of 1,211 miles on it. And a total of 240.7 hours, or 240.7 miles since the last time I reset this tripometer. So, see, it says right there, trip. So, and that's back to the tachometer. See, it idles just fine, right where it's supposed to be. We can go over here and watch that temperature go up. Probably take a little bit for that to happen. This thing, it's always kept inside. It's never been left out. There's that tonneau cover that I made. It's hinged in the middle. There's a video on that also in my video library here on my YouTube channel. And it's a 2011 Polaris. It does have the electronic power steering, and it's got the heavy-duty self-leveling load rear shocks. I also added a rear backup light. You can see it's on now because I got it sitting here idling in reverse. Another thing that I've added was this voltmeter for the battery. I put a new battery in, I think it was 2 years ago, but it wasn't that many hours ago. I bet I haven't put 10 hours on this thing in the last 12 months. Trying to get it go up with the temperature here, so you can see that the cooling fan kicks on. I don't recall what the on temperature is. I think the off temperature is 204. It's not going to get there, I don't think. It's not that hot out yet today. It's only about 76 degrees. Kind of nice overcast day. So it may not get there unless I just let it sit here and idle. Should kick on here pretty soon. That flashing 12 is the clock. I've never messed with that. I got plenty of chances to know what time it is without needing a clock in here. It's coming up. It'll probably kick on here. Maybe it kicks on at 2:04. Not the fan that you're hearing rattle. It's these bungee cords back here banging on this, but you can hear it the fan on. It does have the dual battery box. I never put a second one in, never needed it. This Mega Crank works great. You're also going to see my Boss plow here. It's the Boss V Plow. And it's on a dolly set that I made. It works really good for moving it around the shop, so I don't have to drag it or anything, and it's in almost new condition. I've only plowed with this two times 3 winters ago. So it's a very stern, stout snowplow. It's a great piece of equipment. It works really good with this. You'll see my video attached down below for plowing snow.